Hello, darling teachers. Happy evening. It is so good to be with all of you after a little while. In 2001, we had a very daring dream, and the dream was to make a difference to our country by making a difference to our darling teachers. In 2001, 14 of us came together and said, if there is one section of the society which needs to be powered, if there is one section of the society which needs all our support and motivation, and if it is one section of the society which can actually revolutionize the country, it is the teachers. So let's work with the teachers, and keeping that in mind, we started something called Keep Moving Movement. It has been 20 years now, 20 beautiful years, where hundreds of volunteers have been going to schools and talking to children and to teachers about how to live an exceptional life. In these 20 years, we have been blessed by teachers, we have been blessed by students, we have been blessed by parents, so much so that Keep Moving Movement has become the most important thing that we do in our life. So in these past 20 years, let me say thank you so much. Today is a glorious day. Today we are having this program called Teachers, the Silent Revolutionaries. There are more than 100 volunteers who have been working behind the scenes to make this program a success. Over 9,000 teachers from more than 13 countries have registered for this program. And I'm sure a couple of thousand teachers will come online today and be a part of the program that we are having. We already have about 350 plus teachers. And I'm sure in the next 10 minutes, this number will go up dramatically. Let me first explain to you why this program is called Teachers, the Silent Revolutionaries. Let's take the case of our country. The farmers are creating a lot of noise and they are in the spotlight. The politicians always create a lot of noise and they always know how to get the spotlight. The cricket players are doing their bit, especially with the recent series in Australia, and they get a lot of spotlight. If there is one section of the society which is doing incredible work, solid work in creating the future of our country, that's the teachers. And no noise is made about them. In the process of coordinating this program, we were searching for people who have spoken great things about their own teachers. And we came across none other than Bill Gates, who had an exceptional thing to tell about teachers. Bill Gates was a shy boy, always withdrawn, and he would seek solace in the library. He wouldn't go out with friends, he won't play outside, others would tease him. But a teacher saw him and asked him, what kind of books do you like? And young Bill Gates for the first time thought, oh, there is a genre of books that I can like. And there happened a conversation and Bill Gates' love for reading intensified. The boy who would go to the library to hide from others was guided by a teacher to learn from books. And he not only became one of the richest men on this planet, but he also became one of the greatest philanthropists ever born on this planet. And all of that because of a teacher who took interest in him and pointed out to him what books can do to his life. The whole world knows about Bill Gates, but they may not know about the teacher who nurtured Bill Gates. That is why we call the contribution of teachers as people who are silent revolutionaries. Whether somebody is a great teacher, or somebody is a great professor, or somebody is a great industrialist, or somebody is a great doctor, great lawyer, all of their lives once was touched upon by a teacher somewhere. So, with a heart filled with gratitude, let me welcome my darling teachers to this most outstanding session that I promised to all of you, which is called Teachers, the Silent Revolutionaries. With the example of Bill Gates, what I realize is there is no limit to what can be accomplished when one person is empowered. My life is also a story of many teachers contributing and making me feel empowered. But today I'm not here to speak about my life. I'm going to speak about you. It is an honor to be with someone whom I deeply look up to, respect, and admire, and that is my great teachers. I realize today that it takes a lot to be a great teacher. It is not easy to be a teacher. It is difficult to be a good teacher, and I know it takes a lot to be a great teacher. A teacher is making heroic differences, not ordinary differences, but heroic differences to the lives of people. A lawyer may not make a heroic difference. A doctor may not make a heroic difference, with the exception of these COVID times. An IT professional may not make a heroic difference. An architect and interior designer may not make a heroic difference. But a teacher makes a heroic differences in the lives of people. We see what happened in COVID times. Businesses stopped. People stopped going to offices. Traveling did not happen anymore. But there was one section of the society which refused to give up, and that was my darling teachers. Most of the teachers did not know how to operate a Zoom, but they learned. They did not know how to give homework technologically, but they learned. They did not know how to make presentations, but they learned. They did not know how to collect assessment from students online, through the phone, through various other tools, but they learned. And oh boy, did they learn fast. I repeat, a teacher's life is not easy. In COVID times, the husband is at home, and I'm assuming most teachers present over here are ladies. So now and then, if I give examples and I speak about teacher as a woman, please don't take it personal in mind in case you're a man. When a teacher is a woman, the husband is at home. He says, my work in my office is important, and hence I need the broadband, and I need the best tools, the best laptop, the best computer, the best phones. The kids are at home who are also learning, the teachers also do. Then the in-laws are there who have to be taken care of. Every now and then, the house help needs some instructions and she has to do multitasking. Her work just does not seem to end. Yet, she refuses to give up. She learns all that has to be learned because in her heart beats the love for her students, her children. My hats off and my salute to all the teachers who have risen to this occasion of COVID-19 times. While the whole world is celebrating the frontline warriors and the doctors and sanitation workers, and with good reasons, my double salutation is to the teachers who ensured they do their best, not only learning, but also enabling the students to learn. Once again, a deep sense of gratitude to all my teachers. And I promise you, the next 1 hour, 20 minutes that we have has the power to change your life comprehensively and completely. So let's see what happens. But before I go into that, I would like this session to be an interactive session. I would like to ask you some questions. I would like to offer you some things. You know, when we love someone, we feel like giving them gifts. And at Keep Moving movement, we very deeply love our teachers because we realize whatever we are in life today is because of our darling teachers. So here I promise that today I'm going to give you at least three beautiful goodies, three beautiful things. Here is the first beautiful goodie for you. And this is an advantage to people who come before time and on time. So this goodie is being given to you now, and I'm not sure whether I'll be giving this goodie again after half an hour. So those of you who are here, here is the first goodie for you. A few months ago, we did some great work in understanding the needs of children. We know their physical needs, as in food. We know their physical needs, like clothing. We also know their intellectual needs, as in studying and having fun. We know their social needs, being with friends. But there are a few other priceless gifts that you can give to your children and satisfy their unsaid need. So we created a very beautiful book, and that book is called Priceless Gifts for Children's Needs. Here is the link to download that book for you, for your children. And if you find it good, feel free to share it with as many people as you feel like. So here is the link for all of you, Priceless Gifts for Children's Needs. Do I see there? Okay, beautiful. Now, as you are seeing this priceless gift and as you click the download button and save that book for yourself, or you can just keep it there and you can go back to it and then download it. Here are a few questions that I'm going to ask you for me to understand you and your life as a teacher a little more. Here is the first question for you. What do you enjoy the most about teaching? Teaching is a profession. Teaching is a job, but most teachers do not like to call it a profession or a job. They see it as their passion. They see it as the way of their life. In a brilliant study done by Cambridge University, when they asked teachers, would you like to be a teacher again in your next birth? 69% of them said, yes, we would like to be a teacher again. Keeping that in mind, it must be really exciting and must have a lot of moments of joy. So here is a question for you, and I would love you to give me the answer to this question. What do you enjoy the most about teaching? Here is the poll for you on your screen. Now, those of you who are seeing this program on Facebook Live, you will be able to see it on your screen if you are using the app. In case you are not using the app, but if you're using a browser, you may not be able to see the poll, but my question is very simple. What do you enjoy the most about teaching? You can write the answers in the chat box also. I give you 30 seconds for you to make a choice. What do you enjoy the most about teaching? What do you enjoy the most about teaching? Are you done? Okay, beautiful. I would like to know something else about you. Teaching is about interacting, it's about the classroom, it's about being with the students, it's about you nurturing the minds, it's about you removing somebody's doubts, it's about you empowering the children, it's about you making a difference to their life, and so much more. But as a part of that job, it is a little more than teaching. So, a related idea, what do you enjoy the most about your job? First question was, what do you learn the most about teaching? Second question is, what do you enjoy the most about your job? You have the poll on your screen now. Choose any of the answers which you think is applicable to you. And let's see what are the answers we get in less than 30 seconds. Woo! Ah, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's so mesmerizing to know the answer to the first question. What do you enjoy the most about teaching? And my team just tells me 98% teachers have chosen the thing they enjoy the most about teaching is that it changes lives. You are so true. You're so right. And I am a living example about how a teacher changed my life. So thank you so much. What do you enjoy the most about your job? While my team is calculating the answers and finding out what is replicable, here comes the third question for all of you. Anything the sun throws its sunshine on will cast a shadow. There is a dark side to everything. And saying there is no dark side is like wanting to escape from the truth. So let me also ask you a hard question. What is the most challenging aspect of your job? What is the most challenging aspect of your job? You have 30 seconds to give me the answers. Let's see how fast can you deliver the answer. What is the most challenging aspect of your job? Okay, time up. Now here comes the answer to the second question. The second question was, what do you enjoy the most about your job? 62% teachers have chosen what we enjoy the most is helping students. And 31% have chosen it is seeing the students achieve something which is the most enjoyable aspect of your job. The answers for what is the most challenging aspect of your job is being calculated. So by the time it comes, let me move on with the session. While it was clear that because we have celebrated 20 years of Keep Moving movement, we wanted to do something significant. So we wanted to have this program of Teachers the Silent Revolutionaries. But why today? I'm sure all the teachers over here would know that today is the 121st birthday of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. He was one of the greatest revolutionaries the world has ever seen. You know, my childhood was entirely in Calcutta, and I've grown up listening to stories about the valor of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. By the way, did you know that in the Indian National Congress elections, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose stood against the nominee of Mahatma Gandhi and yet won as the Congress president? Did you know that Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose is the person who gave the Nara, the slogan of Jai Hind? Let me share with you something very interesting which happened in the life of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. When he was in school, one day a class teacher jovially asked, what is the difference between a school teacher and a railway station master? While all the children were dumbfounded and scratching their head to think about the answer, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose raised his hands and he answered, a station master minds trains and a school teacher trains minds. How beautiful and how apt, isn't it? if there is a program which is happening today and we are calling teachers a silent revolution, and if we are calling teachers as the silent revolutionaries, how can I take this program without mentioning about one of the greatest revolutionary of our country, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose? By the way, I'm sure you know about Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose's name, but let me ask you two trivia questions about Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. Do you know what was his wife's name? Do you know what was his wife's name? There are four options for you. Do you know what was his wife's name? Have you chosen? Great. Her name was Emily. Another trivia from the life of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. Currently to administer the country, we have something called the IAS exams, Indian Administrative Services. Before IAS, it used to be called as ICS exams, Indian Civil Services. Do you know when Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose appeared for this exam, how did he do? Did he do really well? Did he fare very poorly? Did he appear for these exams at all? Because he was a revolutionary, right? So here is a trivia question for you. What happened between Netaji and ICS exams? Do you have any idea? Well, let me share with you that Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose came fourth in the All India ICS exams, but after the Jallianwala Bagh massacre, he resigned from that post and he became a complete revolutionary. My last question was, what is the most challenging aspect of your job? The top two answers which teachers have given is A, dealing with bad behavior of children, which is 40% of teachers' concern, and two, dealing with parents who seem to be non-cooperative. Well, 29% of parents, 25% of teachers say parents are the biggest hindrance in their job. We'll come to both of this in a little while. But before that, the answers to the two questions, 86% of you answered that he came fourth in exam. Brilliant. 58% of you said Kamala. You are influenced by Kamala Harris, who has just become the Vice President of United States of America. You have been seeing a lot of news. No, the wife's name was Emily. It was not Kamala. He married a German lady. Well, whenever we do a job, dissatisfaction is going to be a part of its life. Let me change tracks and take you in a different direction now. And this is when the actual session for the day begins. Often, we are dissatisfied by life. Often, there is something which is not okay in our eyes with our life. A crow lived in a forest. And he was actually very satisfied with his life. He was very happy with his life. He had no complaints from his life whatsoever till one day he saw a swan. He saw a swan swimming in water and he said, "Oh my God, I am so black and dark. And look at this swan gliding effortlessly, so pure white in color. The swan must be the happiest bird in the whole world." He went to the swan and asked the swan, "Hey, darling swan, aren't you the happiest bird in this world?" The swan looked at the crow, smiled and said, "Actually, I was the happiest bird in the whole world till one day I saw the parrot. I have only one color. The parrot has two colors. Both are so bright and shiny. When I saw the parrot, I was no more the happiest bird in this planet. The crow went to the parrot and asked the parrot, "Hey parrot, you have two glorious colors. You must be the happiest bird in the world, right?" The parrot also smiled and said, "Of course, I was the happiest bird in the world till I saw the peacock. I have only two colors. Peacock has so many colors. The moment I saw the peacock, I was not the happiest bird in the world anymore." The crow went in search of the peacock, could not find the peacock anywhere, and the birds in the forest told him, "The peacocks can be found in the zoo." The crow flew to the zoo, found the peacock, and after all the visitors had left at the end of the day, went to the peacock and asked the peacock, "You have so many colors, you must be the happiest bird in the world, right?" The peacock smiled at the crow and said, "Yes, you are right. Every time I saw so many colors, I was the happiest bird in the world. But you know what? I have traveled in this entire zoo. I have visited all the birds in the zoo, and there is only one bird which is not in captivity in the zoo, and that is you, O mighty crow. No zoo in the world has a crow. The crow is free to fly. The skies are yours. You can go wherever you want." The peacock looks at the crow and asks the crow, "My dear friend crow, are you not the happiest bird in the world?" Every bird, as long as it saw its life and understood its own goodness, was very happy. But the moment they compared themselves with somebody else in things that they are not meant to have, dissatisfaction became a part of their life. I come back to this word dissatisfaction in a little while, but let me share with you a beautiful message that I received from an educationist down south. Now, this friend of ours teaches the foundation year students in engineering. And this is what he wrote and sent to me. A few weeks back, I was in my weekly webinar session with my foundation year students. He had met these students only virtually. So, as he was taking the session online through Zoom, he asked all the students that if you cannot put your camera on, it is okay. Don't put it on for the entirety of the session. Put it on for a few seconds because I want to see your faces. I want to connect with you. Once I know your face and I know you're present, it makes a difference to me. All the students beautifully put their cameras on. The teacher went through every tile to see who is where and how does it look. And he noticed two students with some unusual background. The first was this girl student whose name was Kalai, who was sitting under the hot sun, sweating, but in the background, they were beautiful sculptures. Curious to know where she is, the teacher asked, "Kalai, your background seems to be pretty unusual with all the sculptors. Where are you taking this webinar from? Is your father a sculptor or something?" She politely replied, "Teacher, this is our temple village. And I am sitting in the entrance of our village, which is about 4 kilometers from my residence. This is the only place where I get good signal. I have spoken to the temple authorities and I have negotiated a deal with them. I come here every morning at 6 a.m., sweep and clean the temple premises till about 7:30. Then I'm allowed to sit over the whole day and take the sessions where the mobile connectivity is very good." The teacher asked her, "That's good, but why sit in the place where there is sun? Why don't you sit in some place where there is cover?" She replied, "Teacher, don't worry. this is one corner of the temple and it's the only place where connectivity is good. I don't move an inch from this place from 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. because I want to learn. The sun, anyway, does not bother me. The teacher had looked around in his room and saw the AC was at 18 degrees. Kalai is a BE computer science student and has been attending her classes from her village temple. The second interesting background was that of Albin Raj, who was surrounded by leaves all over, branches to his left and right. The teacher paused and asked him the same question. Why are you seated in such a strange place? It seems like you are in a jungle. Albin replied and said, Sir, I have the same problem as Kalai. There is no mobile signal at my home, and the best place to get connectivity is on the main road where there is a huge banyan tree. Every day I come to this place, climb on top of the tree, sit on the branches, even eat my lunch over here, sitting right up in the tree. The teacher could not help but laugh and say, I understand the signal part, but why are you sitting on top of the tree? Why not sit at the bottom of the tree? Albin just turned his camera downside and said, Sir, see what is there below. And he could see many odd kind of people resting under the tree. Some were smoking, some were playing cards. It was literally like many people under the tree. Albin tells, Sir, there is no way I can attend the class by sitting down there. It's pretty noisy with a lot of disturbance. Hence, I prefer the tea drop. Albin was a first year BE ECE student. The teacher says, I was completely awestruck with the way these kids approach life. In my own home, when I sit and do my work, there is at least 2 connections. At our office from which this beaming is happening, there are at least 3 internet connections. And we have this connection, that dongle, that goggle, to understand that things should happen seamlessly. And even then, sometimes I crib that for 10 seconds the signal fell. For 2 seconds it showed that connectivity is slow. And I curse the service provider and tell, they are not good. Dissatisfied. And here are those 2 students who set benchmarks for what it means to be a student. The year 2020 for me is not about COVID-19. COVID-19 was a mirror. COVID-19 is an opportunity. To me, the year 2020 is all about grit, courage, resilience. Students and teachers have displayed this in abundance in this year. And look at the magic of the question answer we did. Even after you have gone through so much, even when you had to struggle so much, even when some children and some parents don't cooperate, even if the school management may not understand your real issues, you would still say the reason why I teach is because I can make a difference in the lives of the students. This is a year when thousands of people across the world, led by the teachers, refused to give up and they emerged stronger. For me, this year is all about resilience. If I have to pick up a word for the year 2020, to me it would be resilience. 2021 is a word called gestalt, which means the total will be much greater than the sum. But anyway, I'll speak about this with you maybe some other time, not today. Those 2 students, Kalai and Albin, they showed that there was nothing which could stop them. They showed that they don't recognize the presence of obstacles. The teacher of India who just won the Best Teacher in the World award, he also showed that obstacles are merely opportunities to be innovative and deliver something beautiful. And when teachers display that quality, hundreds of people are impacted and inspired. If I do a business with an opportunity, only I will understand, maybe 5 people in my office will understand. But when teachers do it, you teach at least 300 children every year. 300 of them can see how innovative my teacher is. Not only do they learn subjects from you, but they also learn innovation, gratitude, resilience for you. They understand that it is easy to break imaginary ropes. We need to untie mental blocks for us to actually move ahead in life. What do I mean by untying mental blocks? There was a farmer who had 3 donkeys. He was traveling with his donkey. The farmer was traveling with his donkey. And as he was traveling with his donkey, he came across a river. And as he saw the small river, he wanted to take a dip and take bath. He took his 3 donkeys to the other side and he realized he has only 2 ropes and he could not tie the 3 donkeys to the tree. So he tied 2 of his donkeys to the tree. He found one sage sitting out there meditating. Went to the sage, sage opened his eyes and he asked the sage, "Can you give me one rope? With that rope, I want to tie this donkey." The sage smiled at that man and said, "My son, I don't have any rope for you, but I have an idea. I have a suggestion." "What's your suggestion?" "Just take this donkey to the tree opposite and tie your 2 donkeys properly. Go to the third and just pretend to tie it. Go and take bath. Your donkey will not go anywhere." The farmer did that. He went to take bath. He came back and he saw the 3 donkeys are still there. They have not moved an inch. He looked at that sage and said, "Boss, wisdom, practical wisdom." He untied his 2 donkeys, patted the third donkey, and he moved 10 feet and he found that the third donkey is not coming. He went back, cajoled that donkey, even hit it slightly, but the donkey didn't move. He looked at the sage and said, "What to do?" Sage said, "Why don't you untie this donkey?" The farmer said, "But I haven't tied him." The sage smiled and said, "You know that, but the donkey does not know that. You pretended to tie it. The donkey believes it is tied. So if you want the donkey to move on, you have to pretend to untie it." The farmer did that, tapped the donkey, and the donkey actually started moving. All of us, like the third donkey, have some imaginary ropes with which we tie ourselves. And it is great teachers who untie these imaginary ropes, who loosen and break the mental blocks. The greatness of a teacher rarely comes from the way they teach the subject. The greatness of a teacher comes in the way they can untie these imaginary ropes and makes a child believe in itself. I was a shy boy till my 9th standard. And in class 10, I was made the head boy of my school, Hartley's High, in the year 1986 in Calcutta. I was shy, and not only shy, I was terrified of being a head boy. A head boy means, my God, disciplining the whole school. What is going to happen? It is terrifying. I have to discipline the whole school. What if somebody shouts at me? What if somebody doesn't listen? What if somebody does something indisciplined? What if somebody breaks something down? That is, I wouldn't know how to do this. Terrifying. terrified, I went to my principal and said, ma'am, I don't think I should be the school head boy. Our school in those days used to have a ritual, and the ritual was the child who scores the highest in class 9th becomes the head boy of the school. So I told my principal, I have scored these marks, but Sanjeev Joshi in the other class, I was in 9A, he's in 9B. Sanjeev Joshi, 9 years, scored 0.1% more than me. You should make him the head boy. I thought I'm pretending and showcasing as if I have a big heart and hence Sanjeev should become. The truth is, I was actually terrified. Miss Ila Mukherjee used to wear these glasses, these reading glasses, which nests on the edge of the nose. She was correcting some paper. She just looked at me like this and she said, Naren, you don't know how good you are. Go and do your job. And I was dismissed. I came outside her room. I was very upset. I was livid with her. I don't want to be the head boy. Why are you forcing me to be the head boy? But I can't say that to the principal. So with a leaden feet, with heavy heart, with swollen head, I said, this is going to be the worst year of my life, but I'm so helpless. But trust me, that year was one of the best years ever of my life. If anybody ever asks you, what was the best year of your life? I would unhesitatingly say 1986, when I was the head boy of my school. I represented my school in 6 sports, 7 co-curricular activities. I started communicating frequently. A shy boy who had never gone up the stage ever before in his life became a master communicator, and today that is his profession. My teacher untied an imaginary rope by which I had tied myself. I believed I can't, and that belief was without any basis whatsoever. Sometimes I shudder to think, if Miss Ila Mukherjee had told me that day, okay, Naren, I'll make Sanjeev the head boy, what kind of a life I would have lived? I wouldn't have courage. I wouldn't have warmth. I wouldn't be collaborating. I won't be leading people. I wouldn't be able to make things happen. I won't create events. I won't dream big. All these qualities which helped me to be who I am today was gifted to me by a single act by my deeply respected principal, Miss Ila Mukherjee, who was also our geography teacher in class 9th and 10th. From this incident, I realized teaching is all about giving. Teaching is all about giving. And that's why you have these results. That's why you say 90% of you are excited because you are able to make a difference in somebody's life. What are you excited about? Best part of your job? The best part of my job is to see my children's dreams come true. It is to help them to achieve what they are capable of doing. Teaching is so much about giving. And that is why I believe a teacher believes we are not doing our job, we are living our passion. And that's why I believe, given a choice, they would like to be teachers again and again. Since you have given so much to us, let me take this opportunity to share with you the second goodie of the 3 goodies that I have promised. The first goodie I gave to you a long time back. Towards the beginning of the session, within 5 minutes, I gave it to you. Here is the time for me to share with you the second goodie. We have a site called online.lifeschool.co.in. online.lifeschool.co.in. My team is keying in the details of the site as I speak. This site has 3 extraordinary courses. We have created this course for the mass market. There will be thousands of people who are doing these courses. There are 3 courses available online. 1, how to be popular. What is it that I can do by which I can influence people? Teaching is all about influencing people, right? The teacher who made a maximum difference in your life must be very popular for you, right? And today, if you're popular, you can do so much more than if you're a nobody. So there is a course online called How to Be Popular. I think it has about 25 chapters. Small videos of 7-8 minutes. It will help you in a very big way in your life. The second option that you have is we have created a very powerful course called Mental Habits That Cripple Motivation. So there are 10 habits that we can have which seems to drain our motivation. Have you ever gone through something like this in life? Are there days when you are absolutely at your bottom? You don't feel inner strength. You don't feel power. You feel lethargic. You feel like giving up things. You feel like being very lazy. Or your moods are absolutely wrong. Well, chances are you have developed knowingly or unknowingly one of these 10 habits. This beautiful course called Mental Habits That Cripple Motivation. And there is a third, which must be valid for some of you, which is called Teenage Parenting. Top 10 teenage parenting issues that children and parents face all over the world. So there are these three very beautifully crafted courses. Each is extremely powerful and has the chance to completely transform your life. To all my darling teachers present over here, use the coupon code of KMM, capital K, capital M, and capital M. And please enjoy one of these courses completely for free. Any course that is your choice, you can enjoy one course for free when you use the code KMM. So these courses are there for 899 rupees. You need not pay that money. All you need to do is use that code and the course is available for you for free. There will be so much that you will learn there, which you will in turn use to make your life better and the life of the children whom you teach also beautifully better. Sometimes people ask me this question. Naren, in today's time, teaching is very different. Children are very different. Children are very bold. They are very upfront. They don't have the same sense of surrender. The way we were when we were children and the way children are today is very different. Then how do I manage? What do I do? I completely understand what you're saying. I mirror with what you're saying. I understand what you're going through. You know, in our class, nobody had the courage to rebel against the teacher. But today in the classrooms, children have Google to refer to, and they express their difference of opinion quite vocally. And as students, we are not used to that. So as teachers, when somebody behaves like that, we are taken aback. Have times changed? Of course, the times have changed. Let me mention a statement to you. Then I will share a very beautiful story with you. And then we will go ahead towards a beautiful discussion. In today's life, it is not about the goals you have. It is about who you need to be to achieve your goals. If the goal I have is to be the best cricketer in the world, who I need to be is a very disciplined person to achieve that goal. I was reading in the newspapers the other day that the Indian cricket team fitness test includes one more benchmark, and that benchmark is to run 2 kilometers in less than 8.5 minutes. Which means running a kilometer in about 4 minutes 15 seconds. Which means running at a speed of close to 15 kilometers per hour. And that's incredible. So everybody desires to have a rags to riches story, but what will take them there is this kind of fitness. And fitness is only possible for those who have a life of discipline. Which means In today's world, it is not about the goals you have, it is about who you need to be to achieve those goals. Here is a suggestion. Next time when you have a class, ask the children this question. What do you want to be in life? And tell us what you want to be in life. Bindas, free, with courage, with no fear whatsoever. Think as big as you want to. And tell them, dare to dream. And let's say a child says, I want to be as famous as Elon Musk. Or somebody says, I want to be the prime minister of our country. Or somebody says, I want to go to films and act. Or somebody says, I want to be the best doctor in the world. Clap for all of them. Appreciate all of them. Say, I'm sure you can. Now let's do part 2 of the exercise. And that is, who do you need to be for you to achieve these goals? What are the qualities you need to have for you to achieve these goals? And intelligence is not a quality. Intelligence is not a quality. What else can be the quality? Could it be discipline? Could it be courage? Could it be hard work? Could it be a sense of responsibility? Could it be taking charge of your life? Could it be an ability to learn fast? Could it be curiosity? Could it be breaking your comfort zones? Could it be experimenting with new things and learning? Who do you need to be to achieve those goals? A dear friend of ours, Mrs. Dalvi, last year won the Best Teacher in the Country award. She's the principal of a school here called Wisdom World High School, Hadapsar. In the country, the best teacher? Well, which teacher wouldn't want to win that award? Simple question. It is not about the goal you have, but whom do you need to be to achieve that goal? Let me throw a scenario at you. Next time you go inside the classroom, ask this question, whom do you want to be? And ask them, who do you need to be to achieve these goals? And encourage the children to believe in themselves. But before the children believe in themselves, think about this. Imagine that inside this classroom of yours, there is a Nobel Prize winner for literature. Today, his English grammar may not be perfect, but one day he will be the winner of Nobel Prize for literature. Imagine a huge, big social worker is inside the classroom. Imagine the new age Mother Teresa is there inside the classroom. Since you guys mentioned about Kamala as the wife of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, imagine there is a possible Kamala Harris in your class who one day will go on to become the Prime Minister of our country, not just United States. Imagine there is a child in your class who's a little distracted, who's a little rude, who is a little muffled, but then that is how Virat Kohli was when he was in class 9th and 10th. Imagine there is a child who does not mix up with someone, doesn't talk too much, stays dreaming, does not even understand the teacher's questions, and does not even know how to write notes. And do you know this is how Albert Einstein was when he was in school? Now imagine inside the class, the child who is not able to learn fast and write notes is the next Albert Einstein. Now imagine that all of them will be what they are saying that they dream to be. Now imagine that they are going to write their autobiography. And now imagine in their autobiography, they are writing a chapter called The Teacher Who Changed My Life. There they write about how a teacher always believed in him no matter what. How a teacher always believed in him no matter what. There's this boy whose name is M. Gyanchand. He was not good in studies. Managed to 10 passed by 48%. Managed to pass 12th by 43%. Also did his BCom and passed with 37%. And every time he would pass, everybody else would treat him as if he has failed. He would go to his teacher, Mr. Ghosh, and Mr. Ghosh will always look at him and say, I'm confident one day you will do well in life. And M. Gyanchand would say, but I'm not able to study and everybody says I'm stupid, I'm idiot. The teacher would ruffle his hair, give him lime water and say, but I am confident you will do well in life. Since he couldn't educate properly and he didn't have a business background, he started his life by working in a canteen. The owner of the canteen threw him out saying, you are too slow. We don't want slow people in a canteen. We want fast people in the canteen. He went home. His mother and father screamed at him. He went back to the teacher and the teacher said, it's okay. One day you will really make it big in life. I have confidence in you. He took up a job as a night watchman because there is no fast work to be done for a night watchman. And in the night he was used to sleeping, so he would be very drowsy. And twice in a week, he was caught sleeping like this on the chair. You know, a night watchman job is probably the most boring job in the world. Nothing to occupy them, no conversations possible deep in the night, nothing to see outside. We expect them to be absolutely alert the whole night. But because he was found napping twice, he was thrown out of the job, saying, you're so sleepy, you're not right for a watchman. Went back to the teacher, teacher said the same thing. I am very confident one day you will do really well in life. He became a gardener. There he said, there is no hurry, there is no pressure, I have to do some things. But he didn't know the difference between many plants, so he was thrown out there because they said, you're not smart enough. Again went to the teacher, again the teacher said, but I'm confident one day you will really do well in life. Ola and Uber had come in. He just joined Uber as a driver. And fortunately, there he found that he had a flair to speak in languages. His house was next to the house of a Korean. And every morning, the Korean would ping and somehow his turn would come and he will go pick up the Korean and drop him to his office. And he started talking with him in Korean and he learned Korean. Very soon he picked up a few other languages when he found that he's good in languages. So in his car, if he hears somebody speaking in Bangla, he'll say, I'm fond of languages. I have not heard your language before. Which is the language you're speaking? And that fellow will say, I am speaking in Bengali. He'll say, can you teach me one sentence in Bengali? And that fellow will say, okay, Ami khub bhalo achi. I am very good. And this guy found he had a flair for languages. Since he had a graduate, he joined an institute as a language teacher. He became the favorite among his students, so much so he started his own institute. His institute was very famous because he had so many stories to say from different aspects of his life. And he would speak about his failures bindas. He opened branches. And you know, today M. Gyanchand is a multimillionaire. Today he's a multimillionaire. After he became successful, one day he went to his teacher and asked his teacher, when no one believed in me, including myself, what made you believe in me? The teacher just smiled and said, you know, I come from a farming family. I have a piece of land. If I put maize there and it does not germinate, it just means that that ground is not right for maize. Then I put sugarcane over there, doesn't germinate. I put wheat over there, does not germinate. Then I put fruits over there and I find, pomegranate is doing very well. Every piece of land is good for something. Similarly, every human being in this planet is good for something. When I look at you, I see sincerity in your eyes. I see a spark in your eyes. I see in you a need to do something even though you don't have results. It is your patience and persistence which gave me the confidence to believe in you no matter what the world says. His teachers love, faith, patience, and persistence. Likened him like a seed in search of the right land. The seed persisted and created miracles on the piece of land called languages. You might teach geography, and there will be children who are not good in geography. I'm sure some of you must be sitting over there with a cup of chai. It's about 5 o'clock, the right chai time, and I pray that you don't mind. They make delicious chai in our office. If any one of you ever wants to have good chai, you are welcome to Life School's office, to Keep Moving Movement's office, and we serve lovely chai. You may be a geography teacher where some students in your class are not good in geography. That does not mean the child will fail in their life. You may have children, you may be teaching maths, and there might be children who just can't make sense of numbers. Does not mean that child will not make it big in life. You might have children inside the classroom who are scoring barely 20 or 30%, struggling to pass. Does not mean they will fail in life. You might have students in your class who are sitting in the last bench and creating nuisance. One of you said, not one of you, most of you said, the biggest trouble for you are children who don't cooperate. And I said I'll discuss that later on. Listen very carefully, and this might be a very beautiful, useful piece of information for you. Whenever a person does not cooperate with people, especially people who demonstrate authority, it means that person has some unmet emotional needs. It can be something as simple as nobody has appreciated the child, so the child has started believing they are useless, they are not good enough, they are good for nothing. Hence, this is the behavior that is expected from them. They are only living up to the expectations of others. And in the scenarios like this, a Gyan Chand is often found. And there, if the teacher looks and says, you are struggling with something because of which you are not able to pay attention inside the class. But I'm sure one day you will find your expression and you will live a good life. Now, a child who has never been appreciated before suddenly gets appreciation. Often I have found there are hundreds of stories where a disturbing child is cooperative with one particular teacher. That one teacher knows how to get the best out of their students and others are struggling. Have you ever had that experience in your life? Ever had that kind of an experience in your life? Where there is a child which is a disturbing source to other teachers, but in your class the child as well. It means the child sees in you somebody really kind, and you see the child as one of its kind. As a result of which, the child cooperates with you, the child wants to do well in life. So I repeat, even if the child is not doing well, imagine inside this child, there may be a Nobel Prize winner. There may be a Mother Teresa. There may be a future Prime Minister of the country. There may be a greatest cricketer. And when they are writing their autobiography, and then when they are writing about the teachers in their life, they should be able to write over there. They should be able to write over there. The greatest teacher in my life, the teacher who made the maximum difference to me, the teacher who believed in me when nobody believed in me, was you. I want your names to be there in some child's autobiography, if not many children's autobiography. And when you see these future stars inside your class, the way you teach will completely change. The completeness you feel in teaching will go to another level altogether. The impact you have in the life of children would just zoom. And you know, this present generation that we have, this generation is electrifying. This generation actually believes in themselves. They just need somebody else to believe in them also. They are ready. They need that little nudge. A mother was telling a fairy tale to her child. The mother was saying, and the princess was put behind bars, and there were sentries which were guarding herself, and there was a moat with crocodiles, and there was a dragon outside with fire coming out from its mouth. And the princess shivered in fright inside herself. And the princess wished, when will the prince come and save me? And the princess sighed, looked up towards the stars in the dark night skies and said, oh my prince, where are you? When will you come and save me? The little child, 6 years old, listening to the story, looked at the mother and said, but Ma, why was the princess waiting for the prince? The mother said, the princess was in love with the prince. And the child said, but Ma, why would still she wait for the prince to come? Mother said, silly girl, she was waiting so that the prince can come and save her. The little girl looked at the mother for the first time in her life with distrust and proudly said, if it was me, instead of waiting for years and years for the prince, I would have tamed the dragon, flew out of the window, and I would have rescued myself. She took the book from the hands of the mother, discarded it to one corner, walked away from the room saying, the princess is stupid. Brilliant, isn't it? The little girl is willing to take responsibility of her life and she says, why should I wait for anybody to come and save me? I am going to save myself. And those who wait for somebody to come and save them, the princess is saying she is stupid. Today's generation is like this. They actually believe in themselves. They actually believe they can be the best in the world. They just need somebody else to believe in them and say, fly, my child, and you will be able to fly away. We are blessed that we are training this generation. In this generation, these kind of insights, you are courageous, you can be world class, think big. This will nurture the children much more than the results of the exams. Acha, is there anybody over here? Let me ask all of you a question. Is examination more important than life results? Yes or no? Do you think the exam results are more important than life results? I am sure what would be your answers. I know most of you would have said life results are more important. In today's world, when you're teaching through the computers, you're teaching through internet, you're teaching through using technology, there is a way by which you can nurture the children to get ready for life. Like, for example, what do you have to do? You have to give children projects that involve the whole family. For example, let me share with you two great projects that can be given to children. Uh, how about asking the children to do a project on how does food connect family and friends? How does food connect family and friends? Hmm. Now imagine you are giving this work to children in college, in school. That go and find out by observing, by asking your parents, and then find out why food is so important to us. And then do a deep dive which food is important. Why do friends need to be connected to each other? And through these questions, you can teach the children about fitness, you can teach the children about hygiene, you can teach the children about social togetherness, you can teach the children about how we can collaborate and learn together. You can teach the children about how to have bonding at home. You can also teach the children about how about cooking something and then inviting your friends or your relatives to come and say, my 10-year-old child has cooked today. Why don't you come and let's bond over it? So much can be done in a family project. My darling teachers, do you know your power? I believe teachers are more powerful than anybody else on this planet. The way you can influence the life of children, nobody else can. I often say this. My son trusts me like nobody's business. Anything that I say is final word for him. When he was 3 years old, and our bonding was like extraordinary, he had just started going to a play group, and I was teaching my child some words. So I was telling him, S-U-N, son. In the book, there was a picture of a father and a son, and the spelling was S-O-N, son. My son looked at me and said, no, S-U-N is not son, it is only S-O-N. I took the child to the balcony and said, you see that? That is S-U-N, son. I am father, you are my son, you are S-O-N, son. My son refused to agree. You know what he told me? I will ask my miss in school and I'll come back to you. Miss को पूछूंगा फिर बताऊंगा. I'll confirm with my teacher first. He trusts his father completely. But if his teacher has said something which is different from what his father has said, the teacher won hands down and the father lost. Do you know your power? The children look at you as epitomes of knowledge. Somebody who can solve all the problems that they are not even able to understand. Somebody who comes with new things every day. Somebody who knows how to manage 30, 40 children together. You are like a magician for the child. And when you look at a child and sometimes if you say, you are an idiot, you need to damage your child. A friend of mine, Lameen Abdul, very good friend of mine, he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in the year 2005. Check him out. Lameen Abdul, Nobel Prize winner for the year 2005. In school, once he said, I want to work for the World Bank. His teacher looked at him and said, huh? What is that? For that you have to be smart. You're not smart, you are an idiot. And Lamin Abdul says, Naren, for a long time I could not come out of this belief that I am an idiot. When another teacher will be teaching a subject, I'm thinking I'm an idiot. So I won't be able to understand. When my parents are explaining something at home, I'm not able to grasp. Because my thinking is, my teacher has said I'm an idiot. Said, Naren, it took me a long time before I could come out of it. And once I was out of it, I wanted to prove that teacher of mine wrong. And when I got the Nobel Prize, I knew now I can go to my teacher and say, in spite of you thinking I'm an idiot, I could make it big in life. Not everybody is like Lamin Abdul Malik, who can go beyond the negative impact of the teacher. Most people are like Gyanchand, who need the support of their teacher to live a meaningful life, to do something meaningful. My darling teachers, I have a deep sense of gratitude for every teacher on this planet, for the way they actually act like revolutionaries. I understand that the life of a teacher is difficult because you have too many things that you need to manage. Sometimes the parents are not cooperative, sometimes the management is not cooperative. Sometimes your own family is not in a good space. And yet, when you come in front of the children, oh, you give your best like nobody's business. So I really salute all the teachers. And I have two things to discuss with you before we complete this program. Thank you for being teachers. And thank you for making our lives so wonderful. Right from Bill Gates, with whom we began the conversation, to a child who's just entered into school this year, they all owe their life to the great teachers who walked into their life. If we are blessed, we get kind teachers in our life. There are 4 types of kindness, and different children will respond to different kind of these 4 kindnesses. It's a very interesting thing, and I wish that you listen beautifully because it will help you, and through you, it will help children. See, what is our ambition and how are we looking at this project? Let's say about 1,000 teachers have come online today at different points of time, and they have listened to what we had to discuss. And all the teachers will get the summary and the highlight of these sessions for some of them to watch later on. 10,000, 9,000 plus teachers are registered. Every teacher influences at least 300 lives, which means through this program today, we might be able to impact 30 lakh lives. And if 30 lakh people can get transformed, in a few years, we will be able to reach out to every child in the country. So while teachers help the children, we would love to help our teachers by sharing some insights and giving them all the support possible for them to live a good life. So here are 2 tools which will help you to feel complete in teaching and also feel empowered about your life. So there are 4 kinds of kindness which would make a great teacher. Only 4 things you need to be an extraordinary teacher. There is a kindness with a kind of words like thank you, please, you first, why not, I'm willing to listen to you. This is called the kindness of respect. We have our dear friend Chandravadanji Bhandari, My elder daughter Joe once went to the showroom. He has a Mercedes Benz showroom. And Joe was climbing down from the mezzanine floor, and it was a circular staircase. You've seen these circular staircases? And CV Bhandari ji was standing at the base. Because she was climbing down, he refused to climb up. The staircase was about 4.5 feet wide, so two people could have crossed each other. So I asked him, why you didn't climb up? Why did you wait for her to come down? He says, no, ladies sometimes feel uncomfortable in such small space. So I thought she first would be the right way to approach the scene. This is called the kindness of respect. लेके जाओ मेरे से मोहब्बत, लेके जाओ मेरे से प्यार, लेके जाओ. I mean, take from me. It is this kind of a kindness which makes somebody feel value in themselves. The second kind of kindness is when we tell somebody, I am sorry, I was wrong, I will do the needful, it was my oversight. This is a small kindness which smooths our interactions and helps other people in believing that people may be wrong, but nobody is rough. This kind of a kindness does not cost us much. And in most settings, this kindness is a very essential part of connection and engagement. Sometimes as teachers, we might be wrong. Sometimes we might be rough. Sometimes we might have put down a child. Somebody we might have screamed when we should not have. And at that point of time, with a large heart, if we can go and tell the child, I'm sorry. I'm telling you, the child will be overwhelmed with love and gratitude. You will rise in the eyes of your child when you say sorry. You will not fall in the eyes of your child. And the child will be in love with you. The child will defer to you, open up their hearts, and they won't be ashamed of being wrong in their life. They will also learn from you to say, I am sorry. And that will solve so many issues that life makes us do. The third kind of kindness is the kindness of belief. Somebody is not doing well in life and you say, you will still succeed. Somebody slips and falls and you don't put them down, you don't laugh at them, you're not sarcastic, but you may look the other way or you extend a hand to lift. Which means when somebody is going through a struggle, when somebody has internal tsunamis raging, when somebody's mind says, I'm just not good enough, at that point of time, the kindness which makes them believe in them, the kindness with M. Gyanchand had the fortune of having in his teacher, third kind of kindness. And the fourth kind of kindness is when I do not exploit short-term gains for personal gains. This is the kindness which helps us to contribute. This is the kindness which helps bring collaboration. This is the kindness which creates a community. If there is a poor person out there and they are weak, they won't be exploited because they are in deep need. In fact, they will be supported because they are in deep need. And that is how the country progresses ahead. A kindness which believes, I'm a little better than you, so let me give my hand and lift you, rather than the act which says, I'm better than you, so I'm going to push you down. In the rare time, there are teachers who have ego and who keep saying, I am the teacher, so you better listen to me. I am the teacher, I'm going to throw you out of the class. I am the teacher, I am not going to give you marks. Threats. The opposite is, I'm going to do the best possible to support you. For some reason, you're not able to cooperate right now, but one day you definitely will, and I'll wait for that day. Is there anything that I can do to help you to rise in life? These are the four kinds of kindness which creates an exceptional teacher. What are these four? The kindness of please, thank you, and you first. The kindness which says, I'm sorry, I am wrong, I will make up, I will do the needful. The kindness of dignity, when nobody in the world believes in them, you believe in them. And kindness when somebody is at fault, We don't push them down. We give our hand and we appeal and attempt to lift them. Kindness isn't always easy, nor is it obvious. Because there is an urgent race to the bottom, to live, to prove, to get marks, somehow I believe the world has reduced kindness. And if teachers are kind and the student sees kindness in the teacher, it's just a question of time before we live in a world that is kind. If I ask you this question, who was the best teacher you ever had? Ever had? I'm sure you will think about a teacher who was kind. These teachers motivated you, inspired you to do more than what you thought you are capable of. Kindness multiplies and enables possibilities. Kindness are the people who can serve. And as teachers, we serve. The mindset of a teacher requires service. Through service and through kindness, we make this world a better place to live in. Coming to the last few minutes of our session, here is my chance to give you the third goodie, because you have been so kind in your life to be a teacher and obviously to be present in today's session. Next Sunday, not tomorrow, but next Sunday, we are having a breathtaking session on parenting. We are having a program which is called 7 Wonderful Ways of Parenting in These Pandemic Times. In normal time, the child will get up in the morning, go to school. The child is out of the mother and father's head. The father goes to office, the mother goes to work, we meet in the evening. Our parenting is for a few hours in the morning, few hours in the evening, and in the weekends. Everybody has their own life, everybody has their own circle, everybody meets so many different kinds of people. Everybody has their own ways of dealing with tough times. Everybody has their own ways to laugh at life. Everybody has their own ways to be validated. That I'm good, there are enough people who need me and want me. But in the pandemic world, everybody is at home. Children don't go to school anymore. Their studies and our work is overlapping, and we actually come into each other's spaces. When the child needs us, we have to be at work. When we are not there in front of the child, it's a different matter, but we are out there in front of the child. How do I parent in these times? We are having an outstanding program called 7 Wonderful Ways to Parent in This Pandemic World. So all my darling teachers, you are invited for this program. This program is for free. So you must be getting a link right now on this summit, which is called as the Wow Parenting Summit. All the teachers over here who are from different schools, if you want us to share this link with your school parents, or if you want us to share this link with somebody in your school so that you can spread it to as many parents as possible, to let us know. We have space to register about 10,000 parents, and I'm sure we will be able to accommodate all the parents that you have in your school. Maximum number of people said that the difficulty and the challenge you have is the parents. Now, this is an opportunity for you to train the parents through a training program. So if you click on the link, and if you go and register over there, on a timely basis, you will get all the updates about this program. We will be conducting 12 such programs this year. So if you want your school to participate in this absolutely free of cost, no expectation whatsoever, please share the details with the number that you already have, 7721065000, and let's see what is it that we can do together. This is also the time for me when I will share with you about a feedback form. where we'll be sharing with you right now, where we request you to fill up the feedback forms and tell us what did you enjoy about this session, what was not good about this session. Would you like to participate in the next series of teaching programs and teachers program that we hold? And more importantly, in the beginning I mentioned about Keep Moving movement. It's a very ambitious program to transform this country by teaching life skills to children inside the school. If you want to be a part of that Keep Moving movement squad, where you say, I would also like to play a role in teaching these power skills, life skills, competency skills to children, do mark a yes over there. Visit our site of Keep Moving Movement, which is mykmm.org, and you will be able to see a lot of good things that is happening with school. And once again, everything is free over there. Now, any one of you who wants certificate of participation in today's program, I've just got a small note that the feedback link for certificates will be sent to you via WhatsApp and email. Kindly save the number which is pinned in the comment. So those of you who fill the feedback form, you can also mention that I want the certificates. So you will get the certificate through WhatsApp as well as through your email IDs. This year has been beautiful. And in this beautiful year, let me ask you 2 questions, and with that, we will complete today's program. How many of you agree that as we grieved, we grew? As we hurt, we also hoped. And as we tired, we became tired. We tried. We did not give up. Resilience is what humanity is all about. So would you agree that as we grieved, we grew, as we hurt, we hoped, as we tired, we tried? And the last question for the day, with people like you and me, with movements like teaching and Keep Moving movement, with the force of teachers who are the silent revolutionaries, do you believe that the future of the world is great? Yes or no? For me, I very deeply believe that with you in the picture, with you as teachers who are revolutionaries, who are going to create revolutionaries, we will 100% have a great future. Thank you so much for coming for today's session. Thank you so much for giving your time to us. Thank you so much for being teachers, because it's only teachers who can create the world. I'm sure it's not the industrialists, it's not the politicians, it is not the businessmen, but it is the teachers who will revolutionize the world. So if Keep Moving movement, that is us, and teachers, that is you, come together as a force. Let's come together as a force and change the whole world. My heart is so glad to share this with you. The answer to the next question, is the future of the world great? 97% people have said yes. Thank you so much. Wherever you are, wish you an extraordinary life. May the best period of your life start now, and may you live a very, very fulfilled life. Thank you so much. Love you all, and have a great life.